Alright, so today we're going to be going camping in a tent for the first time in Colorado. I've been living here for almost a year now. I've slept in my car at a couple different places up in the mountains, but I haven't taken myself out in a tent yet. Got everything packed up. I'm going to be riding my bike in for about 6 miles. And then once we ride our bike in, supposedly there's a trail, and after that you can go camping and set up your tent. I've never actually gone that far before, but I just recently purchased a bike for like $50 yesterday on Facebook Marketplace. So we're going to ride that 6 miles in with my backpack over here. I've only hiked with this on. I haven't actually biked with it, so we're gonna see how that goes. But all right, so we made it to the parking lot. Since you're allowed to camp at the end here, I assume I'm allowed to keep my car in this parking lot overnight, but I'm not 100% sure. Technically, it says the trail has a closing time, which doesn't really make a lot of sense if people are camping down there. And this parking lot does have a gate to it, so I really hope I either don't get towed or I don't get a ticket. But I guess we're gonna find out tomorrow morning. Oh, so I go to start filming on my phone to talk about how I kind of made it off of the bigger road that you saw and onto this more of a trail. And I didn't realize there was people behind me. They just made it up here, but we just had a friendly conversation, and they were telling me about where this kind of goes and if I had ridden out here before. So apparently it switches back, and then it goes down a pretty steep hill down to like a river crossing. He said he hasn't gone that far because it's apparently a pain in the butt to get back up the other side. So, but we made it off the main trail here. We're about 6.5 miles in. That was a lot more harder than I thought. Carrying 40 pounds on your back is not... I knew it was going to be a little bit harder, but not as hard as tough as it was. And it was just a straight climb up from the base of this hill to get here. And it looks like it's just more of a climb. So, yeah, we can see where this goes and figure out where we want to camp. I'll say one of the downsides to this bike that I got for $50 yesterday. I mean, it's great. It's an older Trek bike, but it works great. Is that the gears don't go below 4. So on these tougher climbs, it's not bad. I can drop down to the 1 on the bigger gears and then 4 on the smaller ones, but I need like 1 or 2 on the smaller ones to get up some of these hills that are kind of just straight up. But it kind of rained on me a little bit on the way up here. More like sprinkling, but now the clouds have gone and it's beautiful out here. Super nice. All right, we've now made it to the point where we can camp, or almost. This sign right here says, camping is permitted beyond this point. Pack it in, please pack it out. So anywhere past this sign we can camp. So we'll see what we find. There's a trail that goes down here. I'm sure there's a camping spot right there. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of places to set up tent. It's mostly just hills. It's pretty steep down, kind of all around me. So this is the first one I see. I might keep going, kind of see what's out there, and then we'll turn back if I can't find anything better. I've probably been going now for about 20, maybe 30 minutes, and I haven't really seen much for campsites on the way up, although I am getting higher and climbing this mountain. The views, though, are pretty crazy, but part of me is just like, I should have accepted that campsite down there. But I'm hoping that if I can get to the top of this mountain, there's going to be a cool site or place to set up tent with some views. That's what I'm hoping for. But so far, we've only seen one person on this trail. He was coming down on a mountain bike. But other than that, I've been the only person out here. So, all right, to be honest, most of the trail I'm walking, most of this is just straight up. There's some parts that are flat or a little bit more down, and I'll kind of use that momentum to kind of get a little bit of speeds up some of these hills. It's kind of like a walk and ride type situation, but I mean, that's decently steep. I feel like it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but it seems like we're getting up above the trees a little bit more. We're starting to get views and breakouts like that. So hopefully we're getting close, but most of this is just me pushing this bike up the trail. All right, I made it on top, for the most part, on top of this mountain here. These are the views behind me. so we kind of broke out of the trees. I took the backpack off and then put the bike down, so that I'm gonna kind of go up here and see if there's anywhere to pitch a tent. This trail continues going that way. I'm not gonna go any further that way. I don't think there's anything I'd want to see. If I can't find somewhere up here to set up tent, then I'm probably gonna just ride all the way back down the mountain to that one spot that I found. But I'm really hoping that I can find a spot up here. If I can't find anything over here, there's a chance that there's a mountaintop right there that I might try to go explore. But that'd be a lot more effort. So let's hope I can find something up here. Honestly, seems to be a decent amount of cactus and stuff and rocks. So it's not really looking promising. There might be. Oh wait, look, that looks like a campfire. Never mind. Let's see what we can, or just a pile of rocks actually. I think this could do. I don't think this is a campfire, but this is definitely flat enough for a tent. Yeah, that's just a pile of rocks. But, oh, that's a campfire. I mean, they say no campfires, I don't plan on having one, but yeah. Got a campfire here. We can set up our tent here. And we get these views. And we have a seat. Hell yeah. A seat. This. Wow. This is perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. Alright, we made it. One of the things I didn't bring with me up on this trip, because I don't have it anymore, is a blow-up pad, or like little camping pad underneath my sleeping bag, because it kind of broke and popped last time I used it, and I haven't bought one since. So, and honestly, this ground looks a little rocky in plants and stuff, so hopefully I can find a smooth spot. But I'm so tired from coming up here. It probably took me, I think it took me 2 hours to get up here in total. It's about 6.5 miles to get to the base of this trail, and then, which sucked more than I thought it was going to, and then it probably took another hour to get up to this point, which was probably another 2 miles, maybe 3, but it was just straight up for the most part. So, but we made it to a really cool spot. So I'm tired. I don't really want to set up tent right now, but I need to do that while we still have light. I mean, it's only 6 o'clock. Sunset's in about 2 hours, so we have time, but I'd rather set up the tent before I cook dinner. So one of the other things I forgot that I'm kind of pissed at myself for is I forgot to bring my AeroPress coffee maker for tomorrow morning. I even bought coffee grounds because I didn't have any left, and I forgot to bring my coffee maker. But I technically can still make coffee, just throwing it in boiling water, and I can either try to filter out the grounds or just drink it with it. Well, it's not going to kill me, so. I was listening to music and I thought I heard something, and so I paused my music and there was people talking down there. They're talking about maybe I was like one of their friends because I heard the music, and then you heard them yell AJ. Obviously I didn't respond. I was really hoping I wouldn't see anybody else up here, but I doubt this is the most trafficked trail, so. Okay, camp is now set up, as you can see behind me. I'm going to keep the rainfly off of there until later tonight. There's a big ant on my camera. What the freak? Anyways, just because it's kind of warm out here, So we're going to keep that off here until it starts to get a little bit darker, a little bit chillier. But I think what I'm going to do now is make some dinner, because I'm pretty hungry. Enjoy the views, enjoy the sunset, and relax. Okay, my tent just blew away. I forgot to put stakes in. My tent just flew into the trees. What the? Look at this. My tent was right here. Now it's over there. Alright, well, this wind kind of came out of nowhere. It was so quiet and peaceful, and then all of a sudden the wind picked up. I couldn't hear the music. I was like, dang, that sucks. And then all of a sudden my tent just flies away. So I got it staked down now, but that could have been bad. Luckily, those trees caught it over there. So we're going to continue with setting up the hammock and dinner.
I'm dreaming off the road again, set free.
So you can probably hear in the background, I have dinner cooking now. Tonight we are having grilled chicken jambalaya. So that sounded pretty good at the store. We just gotta let this water boil, and then we can pour it in. Looks like it's already pretty close. But I haven't seen any other people come up here yet, or heard any other people. So, and it's getting kind of later. It's 6:30 now, so I think as the later it gets, the less, unless my chances are that people come up here. So I'm really hoping the wind stays away. It's so quiet and peaceful up here. So I'm really hoping it doesn't get loud at night, and it makes it really hard to sleep. So that wouldn't be fun. To be honest, there's just something about camping that seems to be different. I used to do it a lot more. I used to enjoy it a lot more. There's been a couple times now where I've come up camping like this by myself, and I get everything set up and I'm just like, start thinking about being back in my bed, back in my place, doing something different, something more relaxing, something more fun. And I go, I think I'd rather do that. And I just pack up and leave. Hike back, just get in the car. Those thoughts are coming into my head now. I'm like, it's 7 o'clock, I can make it. I think I can make it before it's sunset, before it got dark. I can at least make it on the main trail. I don't know why that is. I don't know if I enjoy it less. I don't know what it is. Granted, when I would go camping a lot, I went with one of my good friends. Sometimes I would still go by myself, but I never truly enjoyed it. Not as much as just having company there. Having someone else there made it 10 times more fun. More enjoyable, more relaxing. These past few months, hell, this past year has been insane. This past year has been an insane part of my life. And I didn't realize until now how much I drifted away from being able to sit alone with my thoughts for long periods of time. I have no servers here. There's nobody around me. The only thing I have is music that I've downloaded. There's no people to talk to, no social media to scroll, no shows to watch, no games to play, just me and my thoughts. Seems like the past relationship that I got out of She was just constantly in fight or flight all the time, constantly stressed, had a hard time letting go and enjoying herself, even when she did set time aside to go do something fun. And I think that slowly got to me throughout the relationship. I started to become more anxious, more stressed, more overwhelmed, because that was her baseline. It's how she operated. It's where she operated in. I think because of that, I stopped looking at my own life so much. I started focusing so much on the relationship because it wasn't going right. But that relationship lasted 6 months, and I haven't sat alone for too long with my thoughts since the breakup because it's just kind of been hell. I think most breakups are. The past couple weeks I've been able to sit more alone with my thoughts. Not like I haven't been able to, it's not like I get scared, I just don't sit with them for that long. But being out here, it's forcing me to sit with them for a prolonged amount of time, to be alone. The relationship was kind of my whole social world. So when I lost that, I lost a lot of friends, a lot of people that I knew. Her family, her close family friends. It was almost like I had to restart from scratch. And it's been pretty lonely since then. It's gotten a lot better recently, but now coming out here by myself, it's seems to be difficult. Part of me wants to pack up and leave. Although the more time I stay here, the less daylight I have to head back. Then there's the other part of me that wants to push through, stay here, prove to myself that I can do it. It's probably something I need. Being able to get away with no service. There's a pine cone. No service, no people, no cities, no towns, no communities. Just me, the woods, the birds, the wind, the animals. If there is any, hopefully I don't hear or see anything, but I think I've gotten too used to relying on other people for everything. And I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily to rely on other people. I think it's healthy, especially when you're struggling, but I think doing it too much and forgetting that strength can come from within as well is a good thing. It's a good thing to remember that the strength can come from within. I think that's what I need to build again, is doing things like this by myself in the middle of nowhere. This forces me to not rely on social media to escape my feelings, escape my thoughts, distract myself, go out and have fun with other people, be around other people to distract myself, keep busy. And I've had, like I said, over the past couple weeks, I've had more time to just sit and relax, do nothing, but not for prolonged periods of time like this. I think this is scary. I know this is scary, but I also think it's good to prove that I can do things on my own again, and I can rely on myself. I mean, it's not like this is all bad. I mean, look at these views, you know? Got my tent, my bike over here, my hammock set up right behind me. Just finished eating dinner. Alright, I'm going to shut the camera off before it starts to die. Alright, well, the sun has officially gone down behind the mountain. We still have about just under an hour to an hour before sunset, but as you can see, the sun's just went behind that mountain there. This is a solid spot, really good spot. So, also I think I am going to make a fire tonight. Turns out somebody left a bunch of like cut up logs, and it's really dry out here, so everything is super dry, which is awesome. I wasn't planning on making a fire. I always love a fire when I'm camping. It's just super nice. Trying to build it, and then just having it and just sitting there and enjoying the warmth and the crackle of the fire. Super nice. So, alright, it's about like 8:40, 8:45 right now. The sun's definitely gone down. It's gotten a lot darker out here. I ended up putting a sweatshirt on, but I got a fire started, so that's nice. Fire pit here. Got sticks here. It was super easy getting it started. This was, like I said, this was all super dry. I went exploring up there a little bit. I found a nice kind of clearing area to almost see 360, which was kind of cool. But now we're just gonna kind of sit here, relax by the fire, listen to some music, and then we're eventually gonna go to bed. I'm starting to get super tired from the walking today. Did a bunch of walking, and then the bike ride up here, and I kind of like the hike up here, so. Alright, it's now the next morning. I honestly didn't sleep great at all. I woke up every couple hours. I stayed warm though for most of the night, but I wasn't comfortable. I haven't slept on bare ground without a pad in years, and it sucked, but I made it through the night. Didn't hear anything. Pretty much quiet the entire night except for maybe some birds. But it's a little chilly this morning, a little windy, so we got the wind jacket on. We're gonna go ahead and we're probably gonna make some coffee first, and then we'll make some breakfast. Alright, since I didn't bring anything to make coffee in or to carry any coffee, I decided to cut my water bottle that I finished here, and we're gonna put coffee grounds in here, and then we're gonna put hot water, and I might use a spoon to try to take the coffee grounds out, but we'll see. It looks like my water is done boiling, so we're gonna see how this goes. We got the coffee grounds in here, and now we're just gonna let it sit for a couple minutes, probably stir it around, and then we'll try to use a spoon to get the grounds out of there, and see how it works. I picked this up at REI. I ran out of coffee grounds. It's like caramel coffee. I don't know. It smells good, so let's hope it is good. But the view this morning is pretty nice. So this is kind of what our coffee's looking like. So the grounds are in there, but I scooped as much out as I could, but it couldn't seem to get much. But honestly, they've stuck to the bottom, so it's been pretty good. Also, those voices that I was hearing last night, I think they're camping on top of that ridge right there. You probably can't see it from here, but I saw their orange tent and some people walking around. That's probably a way better spot than this one. But I'm very curious as to how they got up there, because from the map that I just looked at, there's no way straight up there. So maybe next time I go camping, I'll see if I can get up to that peak up there, because I think sunset would be a lot better, because just right over that mountain is where the sun was setting. That was the fire last night, and then I got everything packed up in the bag here. I just have the speaker out, just kind of enjoying the coffee and the sunrise, and then we're gonna head out soon. All right, we made it down back to this sign here. It took us about just under 9 minutes, and it was just over a mile, just straight downhill. We have a little bit of trail in front of us, and then we're back on the road. But we're back in the kind of the ravine or the valley of this place. But I tell you what, I grew up mountain biking, done a bunch of it. It's so much harder when you have 40 pounds on your back. The balance is all over the place. I almost ate it a couple times, and there's nothing but just pretty much a cliff on your left side. So yeah, that was fun, but we made it through the harder part, and we're gonna do this last little stretch here, and then we'll be back on the gravel road for the last 6 miles. All right, I ended up making it back, and after I got back on the gravel road, it was actually a lot more effortless than I thought it was going to be. Turns out that the gravel road up there wasn't as flat as I thought. It looked flat, but it was just a gradual incline all the way up there. So the way down was just felt effortless, and it was super easy. I think it took me a total of 30 minutes to get from where I was camping at to my car. Rough 30, 40 minutes, whereas going up there took like 2 hours. So overall, really fun trip. And I'll definitely have to camp back up there again.